I'm just an architect, like I said. I discovered cinema in a gradual way. I was not raised up to be a filmmaker. So little by little I started to understand what is the cinema that I like.
Okay.
Buonasera a tutti, grazie per essere qui. Innanzitutto grazie a Amos Gitai che è venuto e ha accettato questo invito.
I'm delighted to be here tonight, and I'm also very happy that my friend for many years, Enrico Ghezzi, came from Rome to join me in this evening. So Enrico, that's great.
È un cinema molto volontario da parte dell'autore e credo che abbia una fortissima empatia nel costruire queste storie di visioni insieme con le persone, non solo il pubblico preciso, cioè con l'identificabile delle sale anche perfino in un festival, ma quello che, vedendo per la prima, seconda, terza volta un suo film, decide di seguirlo nel senso di cominciare questo gioco, dove tra alti e bassi si attraversa tutta la storia del cinema, perché sono film obbligati a essere sullo spazio, e i film sullo spazio sono quelli più disperatamente veri. Il cinema è spazio, sono tanti, e al cinema la prospettiva non è quella prospettiva codificata, è vicino alle prospettive inverse, le prospettive di cui parla Florensky, che quelle delle icone russe, e neanche dei più grandi maestri, per quelli più artigianali, una sorta di cubismo mentale ma anche pittorico. Io credo che sia proprio nello spazio che si vede, sì.
Buona visione.
Buona visione.
May I ask you just a brief definition of cinema according to you?
Cinema is a very wonderful and powerful medium, because you can, already Walter Benjamin wrote about the fact that it's a reproduction, but not just a reproduction of text, which we know since the print, and not just a reproduction of sound, but it's a reproduction of movement, of figures and so on. So it's a very complete medium. So I was very seduced by starting to make films more and more. And I still think it's a great medium. Yeah.
Okay, you start shooting. I've read that you start shooting with a Super 8 camera, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, what are your ideas about the future of filming digitally?
With Enrico, we had once a discussion with Abbas Kiarostami, because Abbas is a big believer about the freedom that digital is giving. I'm not sure. I'm not so much into fetishizing technology. People can be free or are free, non-free with Super 8, 16, 35, 70 millimeters, digital, non-digital, cell phone. It depends what they do. In a way, the technical medium is quite flexible. So it's not. I don't want to get into admiration of one format. It depends what you want to say, and when I say what you want to say, it's not just in the meaning of saying, of thematic or political or historical, but it's what you want to say also visually, what you want to say in terms of the form, how do you want to extend to sensitize people to another kind of cinema.
Okay, now let's talk about some formal aspects. You prefer a long time sequence. I mean, which is the relation for you between the duration of a single shot and the endurance of the audience?
I mean, I don't know about the endurance of the audience. I think that the audience is getting more and more tamed like mechanical, to more and more speedy. So I can only judge by myself. When this is happening as a spectator, I don't like it. So I like works that I can work as an interpreter, not as a consumer. And so it's a different, for me the best films start when the screening is finished.
Yeah, okay.
So it means that you go around, you have some traces of an idea, you have to figure it out, you know.
Okay. So I've read somewhere, maybe it was an interview on Variety, a sentence very, very interesting, starting quote, "Those 3 bullets changed the destiny of Israel." I'm talking about the movie. So could you explain me why those 3 bullets changed the destiny of your country?
You know, the Marxist thought is saying that the individual figures, they don't count. It's only the social movement. I'm not completely convinced about it. I think that it's a mixture between social movement and individual energy. And I think that Rabin, because of his simplicity, he had some credibility. You know, he was not a kind of a modern politician that you know in Italy, and we know also of manipulating the media and this. He had a very simple way of talking. And so I think that this model of Israeli leader for the time being is over. We're in an age that everything is about spectacle. We don't need to. So I think that Rabin was into substance without idealizing him. And I think that's the reason that when he was killed, it was a very short moment that all the leaders of the Middle East came to Jerusalem, because they understood that something is going to change.
Okay, but from a point of view, how can you live together, I mean, Arabs and Jewish?
Well, some of the worst problem is angelism, you know. So angelism? Yeah, so each side think that he is angelic and the other one
really?
are bastards. I think they are both bastards and angels, both of them. There is no angelism. When you speak about angelism, you give food to the fundamentalists, to the repression of women, because you have a very so-called perfect models, and this is oppressive. People are about contradictions, you know, they are not about perfection. So both sides in the Middle East, as I said, contributed to the killing of Rabin, because there were major terrorist attacks in Israel when Rabin was in power. So it means that some authoritarian forces on the Arab side cannot stand to have a moderate Israeli partner, and this played very well into the hands of the Israeli radicals, extreme right-wing nationalists who killed Rabin. I think that it's also, in the Middle East, it depends on the determination and the will of some people to move forward and to create another climate of coexistence.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.